sluggish start today, and then they kicked it in, or did you feel?
Oh, I'd give a lot more credit to Fresno myself than, you know, it was a little bit shorter turnaround. We packed 4 days into the Boise Scout, you know, and it took a lot of effort on everybody's part. I thought we were dialed in for the majority of the game, put ourselves in a position to win. It's a letdown, you know, to not have that game, but you know, right on to the next one. We didn't have quite as much time to talk Fresno. As you can see, it was a big, you know, one-on-one personnel game. I thought we did a good job in our sets. All the film we watched against Fresno, those guys are coming off staggers, you know, double stagger screens and catching it and shooting it. And I thought in our plan we did all the switching that we needed to try to keep them from catching it, and then it ended up becoming kind of what we knew it was going to become, which is a one-on-one isolation. And they got some good players that, you know, made some big plays in the first half. You know, we got to be better with some of that one-on-one play, and it's something maybe we don't face as much. You know, our style of play is doing it a little bit more collectively, and they got some guys that got a little mid-range game that jump up, and you know, you're not close enough, and then, you know, counter moves and different things. That put us in a tough way. And then I thought we had a timeout with about 3:50 in the first half, and I challenged our guys to, you know, lock it in for the next 4 minutes until we get through halftime, and I think we went on an 8-0 spurt, something like that. We were about down 7, and then I think we took a lead at halftime. So the energy that we needed to play defensively kind of showed up at that point. I think we carried that through the halftime into the second half.
In that second half, what did you guys do? I mean, just continuing on your theme, in the second half, what did you guys do to kind of get stops that enable you to get that separate?
Well, I don't, you know, I'd like to think we focused a little bit more. We were locked in. The one thing that took place in the first half was we had all this fancy switching plan, but we weren't keeping guys from catching the ball. You know, part of the reason that we were going to switch out on that is not to let those guys catch it in an operational area. We'd switch, but we were soft on our switch. Then they'd catch it and they'd beat us off the dribble. You know, at halftime in the second half, we thought the reason we're switching is not to switch and let them catch it. It's to switch and deny. And I thought there was a lot of disruption through that period where they weren't quite as fluid, you know, flowing as they were the first 16 minutes of the game. So I thought that was a big thing, picked it up a little bit energy-wise, and then they had a five rebound advantage at halftime, and when they did miss in the first half, they got them and put them back, and we couldn't run. And I thought in the second half we got them to miss their first few shots, and then we were able to get out and run and score some points, get a little momentum.
Did you know that Marvell had 3, and were you going at him intentionally?
Did I know he had what?
Did you know Marvell had 3?
We talked about it at timeout that he had a foul. I mean, the charge was big. His 4th foul was a big call. That put him on the bench for a little while, and then I don't know what happened on the 5th, but you know, that's the idea at that point. Got ourselves in a little mixer offense where we were driving. DeLon obviously had a nice game of breaking some people down, and it was good. It was overall having 6 guys in double figures I thought was big, and you know, we could have had a real special night in terms of assist turnovers. If we don't, I think we have 3 turnovers in the last few minutes of the game just dealing with the press. Otherwise, it's, you know, that line when you start looking at 20-some assists and just a handful of turnovers, I think is always positive. And we got back into the positive in the last 2, which was good.
When you mentioned turnovers, as a team, you guys scored 17 points on the turnovers. They only scored 4. Can you talk a little bit about your ability to capitalize on these?
Well, that's something that we're trying to do. We've got some guys that get out the passing lanes a little bit, try to make some plays and score a little bit off of our defense. We've always wanted to do that. You know, it takes a little bit of heat off your offense if you can get out. And there was a stretch in that game where we really put it on them, and it was, you know, a couple of turnovers here and there. But our guys, you know, did a nice job of taking care of the basketball and not really forcing anything. And we made a number of extra passes and made some plays and had as much poise as I thought we've seen in a while. I thought we cleaned some things up after the Boise game that we weren't very sharp with, and hopefully we learned from that.
And then you got a huge lift off the bench from Jones and the Paris. Can you talk about how much the Paris play mattered for you guys?
No, it's huge. You know, that's I believe we have a pretty deep team, and guys. You know, it was nice to see those guys put the ball in the basket. Dakari hit some big shots for us, and Jeremy got some stuff accomplished in the post. That's been a focal. We talked about that ever since the Boise game. I've met with the bigs individually as a group. You know, talked in front of the whole team about our team is only going to be really as good as our bigs are going to allow us to be, and we got to get some more out of them. I thought we added some offense that made some things easier for them, get them catches on the move, so they're not trying to generate things all the time with their back to the basket. But that was J.O.'s deal tonight, was he got some angles on some guys and was able to go up and finish some shots.
Is there a reason Princeton didn't play in the second half?
You know, it was just one of those things coming out of the gate. I didn't see the kind of energy that we needed, you know, to start a game. We saw a lot of zone. You know, it's a little bit, I like to put shooters on the floor when we're facing some zone. Not that he can't shoot it, but I think his strength is, you know, a little bit more in the open court. You know, I just maybe wanted him to recover a little bit from the fiasco of Boise and have some time to digest everything. You know, Dakari's making some plays, and so it was, you know, not any kind of punishment or anything for bad behavior. It's just I got to make some decisions and go with what's in my gut, and that's what I felt.
Bashinsky the same. Is there a reason he didn't play tonight?
Well, primarily, you know, the last day or two, I think it was at shoot-around this morning, he started talking about his hamstring, and he was gimping around a little bit, and I want to get J.O. going. You know, I think Dallon's going to bring energy whenever we throw him into the mix, but it was a focal point for us to have a post threat in the low post that's going to go and score. Not that Dallon can't, but I don't think Dallon is as creative with it. Dallon's more of an energy post. And so, you know, when J.O. made his first couple shots, I wanted to make sure that we didn't cut him short on that. So kind of a combination of those two things.
How, I mean, this is the first time that you've had a guy like DeLon that could just kind of take over a game and just go on a run. I mean, how much of a separation is that? You know, when last year, if this game was played last year, it might have gone down to the wire.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'd be lying if I said it didn't feel good to have somebody out there that you can trust and go make some plays. It's not just DeLon, you know, some other guys around him. For him to have 12 assists, somebody was obviously making some baskets, but I think we're learning how to play together. You know, he had that great stretch that really kind of put us over the top and gave us the separation. And, you know, you're a heck of a lot better coach when you have players like that, and it's nice, you know. And if we can find a bunch more of them, then we'll get this thing on cruise control, Tony, and I'll be a heck of a coach. It's good.
And we wouldn't have to ask tough questions.
None of your questions are ever tough.
Okay.
They're just like slow pitch softball. Just throw it up, and I'll hit it out of the park.